Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happier, I want you to be happier. When the morning comes and we see what we've become, in the cold light of day we're...
Objects are found all around us. Many artists use these to inspire their beautiful artworks. 3 examples of artists that use found objects in their artworks are Elizabeth Weber, Andy Goldsworthy, and Weiwei. These artists manipulate their objects to create new depth and meaning in each of their artworks. I have drawn inspiration from each of these artists to collaborate ideas and mix different art techniques to answer the burning question, which is how do artists use and manipulate found objects to express a personal viewpoint. Quote, "Painting becomes a process of alchemy for me, a space where even the deepest, darkest pain is transformed into brilliant, radiant light." Close quote. This quote is from my first artist, Elizabeth Weber, who draws on very personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences to create her artworks. Her experiences as a child wandering through the forest led her to asking herself, quote, how something can build a protective shell around itself in order to enter its most fragile and vulnerable state and emerge absolutely transformed. How a snake in its shedding embraces the blindness in order to further grow. Through this thought, Weber has created a series of artworks that reflect just that. Her experiences and moments in life where she has built fragile walls around herself to protect herself, and other times where she has learnt to battle the hard experiences in life. One particular artwork from this series, titled Learning to Say No, really struck me. The delicacy in the leaf ball that is so intricately sitting on top of the thorns instantly drew me in. Once I read the artist's statement, I further loved how there was so much meaning and symbolism in it. Each component of the artwork was carefully thought out, and each material plays a significant purpose in the piece. Made from leaf skeletons that have been boiled and bleached to highlight the inner beauty of the leaf, Weber wanted to play with the idea of something being so open and fragile looking and still being a place of refuge. Weber states, quote, "I have always been the person that will stop everything I am doing in order to help someone else, putting everyone's needs in front of my own. I am the stranger on the bus or park bench you tell your deepest fear, longing, and secret dream to, and then wonder why you divulge. The co-worker who you shared a frustration with and then secretly leaves a chocolate bar on your desk. The friend who sees your soul, tastes your dreams, and tries behind the scenes to make them all come true. I am also the one who has never felt that their own dreams, wishes, desires, and longings were as worth as much as yours." Close quote. This statement resonates with me, as saying no is something I also struggle with a lot. Like Weber, I am often the person she describes in her statement. It is something that I have battled with a lot internally, but I've always never found a true answer, and I just love the way how her artwork expresses it so eloquently. In this sense, my second artist, Andy Goldsworthy, does not have the same level of meaning and symbolism in his works, but the aesthetics of his works are absolutely breathtaking. Goldsworthy is known for his ephemeral works that are created outdoors with naturally found materials, all collected and used on site. Most of Goldsworthy's artworks are commissions, which means that his inquiry question is constantly changing. All of his works are tied in through the one theme, and this theme is time. Goldsworthy's goal is to better understand nature by becoming a part of it, and he has learned that movement, change, light, growth, and decay are the lifeblood of nature. He represents this through creating artworks that are changing in nature and demonstrates the constant cycle but important reality of life: birth, life, death, and rebirth. Goldsworthy believes that art is all about the emotional response. He desires for the audience to experience an emotional response from nature and ponder the magical beauty surrounding them. Through this, Goldsworthy silently embeds little packages of meaning and symbolism in each of his works. My last artist is Weiwei. Weiwei is a Chinese dissident and artist who is an activist for human rights. He uses his artwork to spark political and social discussions around social justice issues today. Jailed and harassed by the Chinese government, Weiwei responds to issues seen specifically in China and third world countries. In Western society, his works are highly regarded for their political nature and outlines the fairly invisible world of poverty hidden in China and around the world. Some of his works that are particularly influential often blur the boundaries of activism and art. Weiwei believes that globalization has eroded a common knowledge for human rights. He states, quote, "Less and less people now talk about human rights since the end of the Cold War. They use words like common values instead, so as not to offend the Chinese authorities with whom they want to do business. Increasingly, people are even viewing human rights in a negative way." Close quote. In this way, Weiwei uses his global platform and fame as an artist to re-spark these often difficult but very necessary discussions society needs to have. This political and cultural context Weiwei uses is very unique to the style of artwork he creates. Many of his works are very large in scale, which can be a contrast to the enormity of the human rights issue today. I have created 3 artworks that respond to all of the following artists. I have tried to consider their styles, materials, and techniques to create a unique response.
You were the shadow to my light. Did you feel
My found object I chose is leaves. Leaves are important to me as they represent my love for nature. I yearn to be out among it and to feel free, which influenced me to pick artists that share this love and express it in unique and different ways. First artwork was in response to Weber's artwork, Learning to Say No. Originally my artwork was a leaf ball, sort of like the one in Weber's artwork. To make this, I scrunched up a sheet of newspaper into a ball and covered it in glad wrap so that the leaves wouldn't stick. After retrieving leaves from a nearby tree, I used PVA glue to spread over the back of the leaves to stick onto the newspaper and glad wrap ball. I encountered a slight problem as I forgot that both halves would be the same size. It made it slightly difficult to join together, but in the end it was achieved. One last problem with this artwork was that during the transport process the ball squashed. I also forgot to take photos during my process and after I had initially completed it. Nevertheless, I took a photo of the squashed version. Although it was not as cool as the ball, it still looked okay. I titled the ball Lost as it represents the empty and abandoned home that is used to house one's secrets, desires, and dreams. Lost appears to be a green ant's nest, which influences the viewer's interpretation of the artwork. I also made another artwork in response to Weber's artwork, as I did not like the squashed ball. Using the same process as Lost, I used a balloon instead of a newspaper and glad wrap ball to place the leaves on. I titled the leaf bowl Empty Vessel, as it highlights the beauty of the leaves, but also the important role the natural world plays in our lives that is being emptied through the greediness of society. Empty Vessel also demonstrates the purpose of leaves in life, like photosynthesis and producing energy for the plant. Like the leaves, life holds a special purpose that we need to uncover. Empty Vessel and Lost both reflect the style that Elizabeth Weber uses in her artwork, Learning to Say No, and both my artworks also have similar depths of meaning and symbolism which Weber also has. Next artwork is in response to Andy Goldsworthy's piece where he creates a circle of sticks. For my artwork I made a hexagon shape that reflects a similar shape that Goldsworthy achieves. I made a base out of a triangle with sticks and used the extra lengths of the hexagon shape on one side to make it stand up. From here I stuck leaves onto the structure to add my found object to the artwork. I particularly enjoyed making and planning this artwork. I titled it Trapped, as it symbolizes a portal which makes our dreams come true. The leaves also represent our dreams, wishes and hopes that we want to come true. Sometimes in life, the wind pushes us in directions that are unexpected, which means that our dreams don't make it through the portal and instead get stuck on the sides. Out of my 4 artworks, Trapped is my favorite, both in symbolism and in practicality. It also closely follows the style of Andy Goldsworthy, as the leaves change color over time, demonstrating the changing nature of life. My final piece is a reflection of Ai Wei's piece titled Remembering. Out of the 4 different pieces I created, this final one is my least favorite. It is titled Kai, which means fire in the Japanese language. To create this piece, I created columns of overlapped leaves with a different color leaf so that the symbol can be seen. I chose the symbol of fire because I'm very passionate about climate change. When discussing climate change, people often talk about the world being on fire. I also love the Japanese language, which is why I chose that language. Kai is similar to Weiwei's artwork Remembering through its use of overlapping simple objects and its use of symbols in different languages. Weiwei used the Chinese language in his particular piece in response to the earthquakes that had recently occurred, and climate change is closely related to that. Many different artists use found objects to express personal viewpoints. There are many different lenses, such as cultural, personal, political, and contemporary, that can be used to create artworks. This investigation has really aided in my discovering new art practices that I enjoy and new processes in which I can develop and respond to artworks. Each of my 3 artists, Elizabeth Weber, Andy Goldsworthy, and Ai Awi, have inspired me to create beautiful artworks using found objects that express my personal viewpoint. Influences are found all around us. We just have to open our eyes to the many different lenses we can view the world from, and also the many different ways in which we can express it. Thank you.
We jump together, at least we can swim far away from the wreck we made. Then only for a minute I want to change my mind, 'cause this just don't feel right to me. I wanna raise your spirits, I want to see you smile.